Hi there, my name is Chris Kiak with JMT Consultants. Today I'm going to be showing you how to do 3D panel layouts within our detailing model, and this is an improvement on the traditional 2D paper doll plan process. So at JMT Consultants, we offer both an integrated steel as well as concrete detailing. What this means is that we do all of the steel and concrete detailing in the same 3D model, as well as all the connections and interfaces between them. So this helps reduce a lot of the costly, basically trade coordination time that you're typically dealing with on jobs, working with multiple vendors and trying to manage and coordinate lots of different 2D sets of drawings. We do all of that in a 3D environment in a common model, and then we generate the 2D deliverables and information for both steel and concrete from that same 3D model. Now, the other thing we do and offer is connection and stair design. Now, one thing that's important to us is that we don't want our customers to have to deal with the headache of working between the engineer of record, a delegated engineer, and the detailer to try to coordinate information and make sure that everything is followed through on. With everything in-house on our side, we can follow your standards while at the same time offering the most economical solution for you, and our detailers and our connection engineers are 100% up to date, so you don't have to worry about those issues. So again, what we're here to talk about today is the paper doll plan process, and instead of doing that the traditional way where you're actually cutting and printing out, cutting, and then taping to scale representations of your panels and then laying them out on a piece of paper and then scanning that, instead of doing that process, which takes a lot of time and a lot of effort to do, we're going to actually show how we can leverage this 3D model that we have in order to automatically generate that and then produce the plan drawing, as well as you can push the 3D model out to the field to be used as well as the 2D drawing. So instead of using paper and printing things out, we're going to leverage the 3D model and then create the deliverables that we need for the field. Now you'll see here in the 3D model that we have a highly detailed rich set of panels. This includes panels that have the openings, the reveals, embeds, as well as panel braces, and reinforcement can be applied as well. Now, we generate our drawings from these 3D model panels included in our panel book. So if I go to the drawing list here, I'll then find this particular drawing with this panel, and then I can open this up. And here you can see that all of the dimensions, the marks, and the bill of materials are all automatically generated from this panel that's in the 3D model. If we make any changes in the model, then the drawings will be flagged and updated automatically, and the dimensions and everything will change. Now, the first thing that we want to do is we want to plan where is the crane going to be traveling on the job site. And so we'll use this crane path tool that we have, which will size and locate the crane path, and it'll also show arrows for the directions. So again, we will then just pick these corners of the building. So we're going to start at grid line A1, then we'll go to E1, we'll pick over here to E21, A21, and then we will close out our path. And this will then put that path around the perimeter of the building. And here we can see that the arrows are represented showing that crane path. Now, there will also be times where we actually want to model in the cranes that we might choose to see what sort of reach that we have. So here I'm going to take this component we've created, and I'm just going to model in the location where I'm going to first have the crane. And in this particular case, I'm going to use a truck crane. Now, I've got the boom here set at 60 degrees, and then you can also see that there is the maximum radius for this particular boom length as I change the boom angle. And then we can just get a feel for actually where our crane can move and where it can reach, and then we compare that against our crane capacity charts and the weights of the panels. Now, what we can do to reference the weight of the panels as well as the piece mark is we can come in here and say, let's make the panel marks. This will then scan through all the panels in the model, and it'll read the weight as well as the mark, and then display that as annotations here in the 3D model. Next, let's go ahead and define the floor slab as well as the pour strip here. So I'm going to do a 5-foot pour strip, and this slab is going to be at 100-foot elevation. So we'll then just go ahead and say make pour strip, and it will make both the pour strip as well as the slab. Now, once the pour strip has been placed, we're going to look at the panels and start to determine the layout. Now, I can see here at a corner condition that we have 3 fairly heavy panels, and then we have 2 or 3 lighter panels. Now, if I have the crane towards the exterior, maybe I'm going to go ahead and do these light panels on a second interior row a little bit more towards the inside of the building, and I'll do these heavier panels at the edge. So I can actually select these 3 panels, And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to select in the user interface how I want the panels to be aligned with the corner that I pick here in the layout. Now in this particular case here, I'm actually going to be going from this corner here and then picking to the left. So you'll see that the user interface sort of shows that. And then basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to press Create Layout, and then it tells me pick the first panel that you want to lay down and sort by. So I'm going to pick this panel here. And then I'm prompted to pick 2 points, which actually defines the layout direction. And so again, I'm picking here. You'll then see these arrows drawn in the model, which correspond to the arrows that we selected here for the alignment in the interface. And now we have our panels in the model. Now you'll also see here in the interface that we have the laydown panels are displayed, and it shows the panel mark as well as the weight. So that way you can make a cross reference between what's on the wall vertically and then what we have here in our layout. Now what you can also see is that if we press this redraw visualization colors, it actually shows a color status to track what we've done a laydown of. So that way we can make sure we keep track and we've caught every one of the panels, as well as doing the sequencing here in a second. Now before we do the sequencing, let's go ahead and do another set of panels. In this particular case, I'm going to be going from the top left this time, and I'm going to be selecting this panel here as well as this panel, and I'm just going to be going with these heavier panels because I know that I need those to be towards the exterior, and then I'm going to do the light panels towards the interior. So we've got this all set. We're just going to say Create Layout. I'll then pick this first panel here in the model, and then it's going to say to pick the first 2 points. Now I'm just going to go ahead and come up here as a reference to the edge of the slab, and then I'm going to pick in this direction. Again, you'll see the arrows drawn in the model, and they match the alignment that I set here in the interface, and now we have those panels placed. Now let's do this one last time. We'll select these small panels here, and I'm going to actually insert these a little bit more towards the interior of the building because I know that for these lighter panels, the crane will be able to reach those and lift them. So we've got these selected. We'll say Create Layout. I'll press this panel first, and then essentially what we can do here is we can pick this first point here, and then we will just go downward. And again, you'll see the arrow drawn, and then it's going to show those panels now all aligned at that 1.5" spacing, which is what I set here for the wood formwork. And now we've got those panels laid out. Now, once the panels have all been laid out, then we're going to go ahead and assign the erection sequence number. So we'll come over here and we'll set the start number to 1, and let's go ahead and just pick the panels in the order that we want them to be erected. Now, as you see that I pick, you'll see that the sequence number is added as well as the colors of the panels are changing green. This just lets us know that from yellow to green, we now have the laydown panels as well as the sequence assigned. Now, once we have the entire job laid out as well as the sequences assigned, then we're going to come here to the Drawing tab, and we're going to choose which size sheet that we want to create the plan for based on the size and scale of the building. And so in this case here, we'll go ahead and use this, and we can just go ahead and say Create the Drawing. And what it'll do is it'll read the size of the building in the model and then automatically load up those drawing properties and create the plan drawing for us. Now once the drawing has been created, it will automatically be opened, and we can go ahead and take a look at all of the annotations and dimensions and marks. Now when we look at this, there has actually been no manual cleanup or manipulation by me at all. This is automatically generated by the software. Now sometimes I may need to move a mark around for clarity and to prevent any kind of overlaps, especially on some of these small panels. But again, I did not do any kind of markup or cleanup on this particular drawing. Now we can see all of the main marks as well as the sequences called up here on the plan, but at the lower left we have an automated schedule that's generated as well. So it'll read the sequence number and then the panel that is associated to that and list that out here in chart form as well. Now again, this is just an automatically annotated view into the model. It's like how I like to call this. So if we go back into the model and there's any design changes and we have to adjust the layout or we change any of the sequences, when we reopen this drawing, the sequence table will automatically refresh and update, as well as the marks and the geometry of the drawing here will automatically change as well. So again, everything is driven from the 3D model, and both the panel book drawings as well as our erection drawings and layout plan are all automatically tied and generated from that. So if you're seeking a better detailing solution, then reach out to us by visiting our website at jmtconsultants.com. You'll see a lot of our project history, a little bit more about us, and we'd be happy to do a deeper demonstration on this concrete panel layout tool, as well as going over any of the different detailing services and connection design services that we can help offer you.